right, we're live. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm Mike Jones. This is Cindy Jones, and we are here to talk about real estate. It's been a busy week in real estate, but our topic today is mainly if you're buying a home, and this is also important for sellers, how much of a binder deposit should you put down when you're submitting an offer? We'll get to that in just a minute. We just want to tell you a few things that have happened to us. Cindy's actually got to go show property after the show today.
Again?
And it's one of those times where the buyers they got to wait till the buyers get off work. So she's going to be in traffic and frustrated and everything. But she's made all her appointments. She's ready to go. And as soon as we click the stop record button, she's gone. And anyway, we're here to answer any questions that you might have about real estate. If you'll just pop them down into the comments section, we will try and answer them right here live. Also, if you're watching this later or not live, or the replay is what I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for. If you're watching the replay, if you'll just, any questions that you have about real estate that we can help you with, put it in the comments section below. We check the comments, we get notifications, and we'll either answer you in back as in a comment, or we'll answer it next week on the show, or the next time we come on the show. Next week's Thanksgiving.
Right.
Or we'll just do a video on it, whatever. So we've been helping people with their real estate needs for the last 20 years for me, 15 for her. So it's combined 35 years of real estate experience right here in Northeast Florida. But our knowledge isn't limited to just here. We can help you just about anywhere you are in the country. As a matter of fact, we've been in the business so long, and we've developed relationships with real estate agents across the country. So if you need help selling or buying a home anywhere, let us know. We can hook you up with an agent that will suit your needs, not theirs. And that's what we're here for. So anyway, exciting news. Cindy and I put in an offer on a house yesterday, and we're waiting. We're playing the waiting game that we see all of our buyers and sellers play. Now we're in that boat. And it was really weird because we wrote an offer on this house, and we're so used to writing offers for other buyers, everything just flows. But when we turn it around and we're the buyer writing on our own offer as a real estate agent, since we don't do that very often, it gets a little bit weird. And yesterday, and to make it even weirder, nowadays we do everything digitally. Hey, Rick, appreciate you tuning in. A single day listing.
Would you? So we have a question.
I'm assuming that you're a home seller and not a real estate agent. Here's the aim or the game or the whatever. Basically what happens is an agent wants to try to impress you with their marketing, and they try and do it within a day period, and they say, listen, I'm only going to do a day listing. And that's the hope that they do a good enough job that they impress you enough to go ahead and sign a longer listing agreement. I think that's the question that you're asking. Now, it's not unlikely that maybe that agent is actually working with a buyer who's looking for a house in your neighborhood, and there's nothing else around, so that could be a possibility. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but a lot of times the realtor agent approached you. Yeah. So it could be possible that they have a buyer in the wings that's looking for a house that yours fits their needs, and there's nothing else available, so he's offering you a one-day listing. Maybe he'll bring a buyer through there. But a lot of times agents will do that in hopes to impress you enough to go ahead and sign a longer listing agreement. I hope that answers your question. I hope it helps.
Or let us know what the deal was, or why from you what that might do for you. I don't know.
I guess what we need to ask you some other questions.
Yeah,
are you actually in the market? Are you going to sell your home? Are you thinking about selling your home? Did you have it for sale by owner and he approached you that way?
That's what I think.
There's a lot of things. So,
just to clarify, that could be what it is. I'm thinking, Rick, you probably a for sale by owner, and they may have. Okay, we probably answered the question then.
Well, also Rick too, and you know what? instead of signing a one-day listing agreement, you could actually say, well, I'll tell you what, if you'll go ahead and, okay, you've been for sale by
For
owner.
sale, okay, that makes more sense.
Instead of signing a one-day listing agreement, just say that, if you bring a buyer, I'll give you a commission of 3% or whatever it is you want to offer him. And you could even, have him, he's going to ask you to sign an agreement to that effect.
Yeah.
It'll say that if he shows the house to this buyer and that buyer buys it, then you owe him a commission. It's just a formality. It's got to be on paper in order for it to be enforceable. So that may be what he's asking you to sign. I have seen agents approach for sale by owners and say, hey, just sign a regular listing agreement for a day, and that's a different thing. But to get away from having to sign that, just agree to pay his buyer 3% and do it in writing.
Yeah.
And that'll take care of that, and that'll keep you from having to sign a listing agreement.
It could be to protect the agent to get the commission by working with the for sale by owner.
Exactly.
If they're not already in the MLS, that could be
exactly. But you can just do that with a one-time. He represents the buyer in a one-time transaction, and you agree to pay him a commission if he consummates the sale. Okay. Thank you for your question. We definitely appreciate you tuning in. Anyway, we bought a house, or we're buying a house. Put an offer in on a house yesterday. We're waiting for the sellers to respond to our offer.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's weird because we don't usually write. We're not usually the agent and the buyer when we're writing offers. Wow, 2.5 plus a $7,000 bonus. That sounds like a pretty good incentive. If you'll contact us after the show, if you're in our area, we'll put that in our mind too, in the back of our head. That way, if we have a buyer, we can bring them as well. So if you want to do that, feel free. And also, our number's on the screen. If you want to just text me your address, we'll keep it. Cindy's actually working with buyers today. I don't know if you heard that. But we'd be glad to help you get that off your plate and get it sold. So we're writing our own offer as a buyer and also as the selling agent. So it makes it kind of weird. But on top of that, while I was writing this offer, my internet went down. We had to have the internet people come out and everything. So I had to actually go back old school and hand write it.
Hence the term write the offer. We literally had to write the offer. We don't write offers anymore. We type them out.
Yeah, we usually type them out and send them for online signatures to the buyer or the seller or whoever it is we're working with. So that made it all kind of weird, but we're very excited, although we are still a little bit nervous because Cindy and I have been debt-free, even the house, for the last 10 years. So we've bought our last 2 properties cash, and we sold one to buy the one that we're in now. We're going to keep this and rent it out, but like I said, we have had 0 debt for 10 years. So now we're getting into a mortgage situation. It's something that we've had to toss around, but it's really kind of the only way to get this house because we, of course, don't have enough cash to buy this particular house. So we're excited. We're waiting. We're hoping to hear by 5 today if the seller's going to accept our offer or not. We will keep you posted. Anyway, binder deposits.
That's what we're talking about, binder deposits, yes. So
that's one of my, I think that's one of the questions that we get asked the most. And it's not always just from the buyer. The buyer says, well, I'm putting in this offer. How much of a binder deposit should I put forward as a good faith? We also get it from the sellers as, how much should I ask for in a binder deposit? So this video or this live stream actually can benefit both the buyer and the seller. First off, I want to tell you, there is no rule, no set amount of a binder deposit. Some people like to say, well, you need to put down at least 3% of the purchase price as a binder deposit. It says that nowhere. There's no legal requirement for you to put down. You can put down $50. I've seen that. As long as you, the buyer, are comfortable with that amount and the seller's willing to accept that amount, then that's all you need. Now, I will tell you as a buyer, one of our past videos, one of our past shows here, we talked about ways to increase the likelihood of your offer getting accepted, and one of them was to have a bigger binder deposit.
Yep, that's
the
right.
bigger the binder deposit, in the mind of a seller, the more serious you are about going forward and going all the way to the closing table. It's easier for people to walk away from less of a binder deposit when things go wrong, and they do, than it is a bigger one. So as a seller, or let me backtrack that. If you're buying a home as a buyer, you want to put down enough that you're comfortable with,
Right.
but also that will will let the seller know that you're serious about buying the house.
Yes.
For instance, the house that we put an offer in on yesterday, we put up a $2,500 binder. Now keep in mind the median price of a house in our area is about $215,000. In Northeast Florida, the median price is $215,000. So with that being said, $2,500, we felt it was fair. That's what we're comfortable with. If the seller accepts it, then we're good. They may want more. If they do, I'm not adverse to putting up more. We're serious buyers. We've been in the game a long time. We know how to be a serious buyer. We're serious buyers. And also, what else we did to strengthen our offer
Absolutely is
another trick out of our toolbox.
what we've told you all to do is we wrote a very nice letter and
Personal.
very heartfelt, and it was very serious and truthful too. And we put a nice little photo of our own little family, me, Mike, and our dog Charlie on there to let the seller see who we are as a family. That
It
photo helps a lot.
personalizes it.
It personalizes
Because
it. Yeah.
here's what happens. We're the buyer at this time, but our buyer, we submit an offer. We don't actually submit that to the seller. We submit it we submit it to the seller, but through their agent.
Yeah.
So if you don't, there's no personalization unless you include a cover letter like that. And that's one of our tips for helping you get your offer accepted right out of the bat, is to add some personalization with a photo. A couple of weeks ago, we did a video just on that subject on ways to make your offer stronger. And that's one of the best. And I've seen it happen. We've had multiple offers on our listings. The buyer submitted a personalized letter with a picture of their family, what their plans were for the house, how they were going to live in it, how they were going to be close to schools and everything. And the buyer accepted that offer, even though it wasn't the most, the seller
accepted that offer.
even though it wasn't the most
money
in their pocket. So it's very effective. But binder deposits are, like I said, there's no rule. You just got to be comfortable with it, but you still want to make your offer seem serious. Now, a lot of people think, well, if I don't close on the house, then I get my money back anyway, so it doesn't matter. That's not true. What happens is you as a buyer and the seller, you guys sign an agreement. And in that agreement, there's certain things that have to take place and timelines that have to be followed. Your binder's on the line that you are going to perform to those terms outlined in the contract. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, the seller, and you back out and the deal doesn't close, the seller can lay claim to your binder deposit. Okay, now, it's not as easy as going, well, I did everything that the contract says, real estate agent, give me my binder deposit back. It doesn't happen that way. What happens is that binder deposit is put into escrow at either a real estate attorney or title company's office, or a real estate company office who does that, who has escrow accounts. In order for that real estate company or the real estate attorney to release that binder to either party, it has to be signed and agreed to in writing by both parties. So what happens is, if you as the buyer default, or you don't default, you just don't want to buy the house and you want to back out, the seller has to agree to give you that binder deposit back. And if they don't agree, now you have conflicting demands, and there's a process that you have to go through in order to get the binder deposit back. And it can take, several weeks to get that done, depending on who's holding the binder deposit to start with. It really goes deep and into detail. So that's why I say, don't just willy-nilly go, hey, Cal, I'm serious about this. Here's $10,000, thinking that, well, you can get it back very easily, because you can't. Even if you're right, and if the seller doesn't think that you're right, now you've got conflicting demands, and there's where your problem comes in. So, like I said, it's easier for as a seller. Here's what you need to consider when you're getting an offer and a binder deposit. Are you willing to take your house off the market for that amount of money? Are you willing to start moving all of your furniture and belongings out, making other plans, buying another house, securing a lease on wherever you're going to go to, whatever? So as a seller, are you comfortable with that amount? Because if the deal falls through, you've lost a lot of marketing time. You've lost other potential buyers. there's a whole slew of things that can go wrong. And as a buyer, you need to realize that that's the seller's perspective. Okay. We see a lot of people write offers on our listings that want to put down a $500 or $1,000 deposit. It's really not up to us. We have to present that to the seller. The seller needs to decide, is that enough?
Right.
Is that worth the risk to me as a seller? So that's it. I mean, whatever you're comfortable with, do it. If your agent tries to guide you in what to put down as a binder deposit, listen to it, be objective, and consider it. That's all I can tell you.
Love that about the letter.
Yep.
Wish you were in 34212. Where's 34212?
It's definitely not in Northeast Florida.
Is that that's got to be in Florida, but where is that?
I bet you that's down south.
Yeah, if you ever do go to buy a house, that letter and the picture along with it is very powerful. And y'all, I got to tell you that last week when we did the show, we were not seriously looking for a new primary home. We really weren't. We look at houses all the time. We look for investment properties. We look for apartments to buy. We look for all kinds of properties. We look for properties.
Bradenton.
Even.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's a really nice area
Yeah.
down there. And I think that, I don't know, but I mean, because we're not in that area, but I think that it's a pretty hot real estate market down there. So you really shouldn't have a problem selling at all.
I actually just had a referral down there that I was sent to an agent in the Bay Pines area near St. Pete. I actually grew up in St. Pete. That's actually closing very, very soon. So I know that area, especially when I grew up. But anyway, yeah. So this kind of came. Like I said, we look for houses all the time because we're in the business of investing and things like that, and even investing in houses not even in this state. We were actually looking at houses, cabins in the mountain just a couple months ago. But so this came about very, very quickly. And when I went to see this house a couple days ago, it is what we said, you guys. When people go look at houses, they're almost looking to find what they don't like about the house. Objections. That is actually how I went to see this house, even though we went to look at it for ourselves. But I just couldn't help it. I went there. I was walking around the house, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love the feeling inside this house.
I'm going to go ahead, and this is, I guess this is a link, Rick, to your house. I will put that in the comments section, and anybody that's looking for a house in Bradenton, check out this website here. And
oh, thank you.
I'm going to look at it myself and take a look at your website and everything as well after we get off the show. I don't want to confuse things here with the software. It's really easy to do when you're live streaming. But anybody that's looking for a house in Bradenton, very nice area, check out Rick's house at 714 Dogwood Run, Florida.com. Rick, we definitely appreciate you tuning in and watching. And if there's anything that we can do for you, let us know. She said that she was looking objectively. That's what everybody does. See, I was the one that had to drag her to this house to show it to her. Yeah. It's perfect for us. We like older homes. We like the original hardwood floors. This one's concrete block.
Built in the 50s.
It's great. That's the houses that we like for our personal taste. And I had to drag her over there, and she's like,
so honestly,
no, all the way into the door.
The buyers are typical, no matter if you're a realtor looking for yourself or not. It's the same thing, and I really did. I walked over there saying, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see, and I was just like, I'm gonna see what I don't like about it, and I got to looking at it and fell in love with it. So that's where we are. So we're in the middle of hearing what the answer is. We hopefully by 5 o'clock here in a couple hours, which I'll be out showing property myself for my other buyers. We'll see. So that's where we are on that. So we'll keep y'all apprised of the situation.
I'm very confident that we're going to get the house. Yeah. It's just there are a few things that I'm concerned with. It is an older home, and I think that the roof's about shot. Of course, we're not a home inspector, so if we get accepted, we're going to have the whole home inspection and everything done. So even if we get the offer accepted, there's a lot of hurdles to go through, just like with every buyer and seller. And, like we talked about in previous shows as well, a third of all real estate transactions fall out after the home inspection. Right. And it's not because of the home inspection results. It's because the buyer and seller can't come together
on repairs.
Now, us being in the business for so long, we know we're not going to ask for ridiculous repairs like
gosh.
tighten a light switch, replace a GFI outlet, do those types of things. We just want to make sure that the
major systems,
the
yes.
roof, the air conditioning,
yes.
The electrical, the plumbing, and all that is in good working order. All the other stuff I could care less about, because there is no perfect house.
Well, and we know, looking at this house, we could tell these people have taken very, very good care of this house just by how it is right now. We know the situation. We looked at the tax records. They've been there 2 years. That they have taken very good care of it, and it shows. And it's not like someone flipped the house and it was a horrible flip, and the construction is horrible. So we already know that it's good in that regard, that they've taken care of it. But it does have a septic tank. So we're going to have a septic tank inspection. We already, just by looking at the roof, that it's got maybe some issues. It's probably coming to the end of its life. So those are the kind of things that we're looking for, and we will see how it goes. Because if it comes down to needing a roof like right now, well, we're going to have to negotiate all that. We're going to have to figure, what are we willing to do? And this is what every buyer goes through. So we'll let you know what's going on. But by the time you guys see us again, it won't be for 2 weeks, because next Thursday is Thanksgiving already.
Well, I'm going to butt in on that for you for just a second.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick, definitely. We definitely work the St. Augustine area.
Oh, yeah.
We've sold
Absolutely.
and helped people buy houses over there. So, yes, we'll be glad to help your son if, in fact, he moves this way. And I was going to say we were going to skip next week because, of course, it's Thanksgiving
already.
But it's the perfect time next week. Maybe we'll do an early show on Wednesday, or I'll just do a regular recorded video and post it next Thursday about some really good reasons why you should list your home during the holidays.
Maybe we could talk about it right now. Actually, we've been on for 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So next week,
that's a good idea.
I don't know if it's going to be a live stream. It definitely won't be a live stream on Thanksgiving Day. But if we live stream next week, it'll be the day before. If not, it'll be just a regular video that I put out. It's very important. A lot of people have preconceived notions that they should take their house off the market during the holidays or not list their house in the holidays. And I just want to try and give you a different perspective of why doing that may not be such a great idea. So hopefully you'll tune in or watch for new videos. And by the way, I am on Instagram. If you want to follow me over there, it's Mike Jones Jacks FL. I do a lot of different things there. I put pictures of Charlie and some of the things that we do outside of real estate. I like motorcycles. I ride a motorcycle. I take pictures of motorcycles, put them on there. I put pictures of houses and real estate and things like that. So join me over there if you would. I always follow back as well, as long as you've got some post. I get a lot of people following me, and I look at their page and they have 0 posts, and I don't even know why they're on Instagram if they're not going to post stuff. So we're here to help you. If you have any questions about real estate, you can always get a hold of us. Easiest way to do it is just Google Mike and Cindy Jones Realtors, and guaranteed you're going to find us. If that doesn't work, put Jacksonville behind it, because that's where we live and work mostly, and we're here to help you any way we can. Until next week or our next video, we hope that you have a fantastic is today Thursday?
Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, it is. Wow, I got completely confused for a minute. Hope you have a great weekend. And if we don't see you live next week, we hope that you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. See you later.
Bye.